I had someone who saw it. They said, you need to be in a better space. They gave me a relationship with the management there, and they were intrigued by the fact I was the first farmer in High Point.
Welcome to the Best of Raleigh with your host and real estate expert, Gretchen Coley, owner of the Coley Group. This show is all about the people and places that make the Raleigh area so special. Here's your host, Gretchen Coley.
The first farmer.
Yes.
Probably the first female farmer, too.
I think probably the only. And so we ended up really building the business from there.
Yeah.
We were picked up from some national media, which was such an incredible opportunity, and share the story and what we did. Very quickly, I'll be there for a year, and I'm going to have a luxury product to bring back to New York.
In 1 year.
Oh, yeah. I was going to do it in 1 year.
I like a girl with an adventurous goal.
Right. And I'd chosen a font that was very important to me. It was going to be a luxury brand and a color, which was a rich red.
And so once you got back here to North Carolina, you came back, your farm is in Garner, but we call it the Gar-Raleigh area because it's on the Raleigh side of Garner. How many acres is your farm?
It's approximately 30, and it's...
And it is packed. I have been there. I've had the luxury of being one of the few people who gets to go to Weston Farms. It is a magnificent space.
Thank you.
So tell us, so you had this, you came back to Raleigh, you had this farm, your father's here.
Yes.
You've been left this property, so now you had this budding, new-ish relationship with your father where you're sharing a passion.
Yes, and I was going to be a farmer. There was nothing in
A
my...
luxury farmer.
Right. And there was nothing in my background that had prepared me for that, other than just being a tenacious spirit. And the first year I grew vegetables, Ashley Christenson, who's gone on to do such cool things, she was one of the first people that would buy from us. And I really wanted our name on the menu. And she actually grew the relationship with us where she bought every single ugly tomato I grew.
Wow.
It was really great. And what happened was around I guess it's the month of August that the okra's coming in. I was out picking okra, and I had no idea how miserable that was. I was itchy, and I thought the creativity in this experience has somewhat evaporated, and I moved into perennials and trees. Now, when I first moved to North Carolina, I had planned to sell microgreens and all of these things to a culinary market, and my dad asked me, Erin, what are you going to be selling in November and December?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, exactly.
Fathers always know, don't they?
Exactly. Not planned for that. I had not planned for November and December. And he suggested that I cut magnolia from my grandmother's tree. Now, I didn't know that that was a thing. I knew that my grandmother wanted magnolia for her mantle. It was something we'd always done. And she knew if you got it from the top of the tree or the bottom of the tree. So Dad showed me how to cut the magnolia with a pole pruner. I tied it together with zip ties, eventually started tying colorful conifers, different plants that really had been designed for looking a certain way, and really grew the business from the farmer's market.
Wow.
People would come and buy us out, and I planted more and more. And then all of a sudden I went from having one tree, which was my grandmother, to 500, to 1,000, and I had more than the local market could support.
Right.
At that point, I decided I needed to find a larger market, and a really amazing way in North Carolina to find a national market is at the High Point Furniture Market.
That's the place to be when it comes to luxury home goods.
Well,
and I would consider Magnolia a luxury home good, at least for all of us in the South it is.
Well, I ended up going, I did not realize it, but they gave me a space that I called the Harry Potter space. It was under stairs. I was so excited that I did not realize for a little while that the trash was right next to me. And I had the experience for the second market I went to, no one was coming to my booth. So I did something I never would have imagined, but I took one of the wreaths from my wall, I put it on my arm, and I started walking around the market because there was going to be no one who saw what we did unless I was a billboard for it.
So note to self, when they don't come to you, you got to get your wreath off your wall and take it to them. Right?
And
that should be a quote from you.
Oh, well, maybe so.
Yeah.
You've got to take it to people if they're not coming to you, which is exactly what happened with Market.